guys, welcome back to my channel. I have my best little sidekick here today to help with today's video, right? She's wide awake today, super happy. But I wanted to share with you guys what I eat in a week. I am 6 weeks postpartum with our little girl. And I just wanted to share, it's not as clean of eating as my eventual goal is, but I wanted to just shed a light on what it really looks like. Trying to just navigate life with a little one who likes to be sitting up, and I laid her down. And just share maybe some quick ideas for you if maybe you're not postpartum, maybe you're just someone busy on the go, maybe you're a busy mom, whatever the case is, just to try to share a little bit with you and try to explain a little bit about why I'm trying to incorporate certain foods in. Now, I'm not like a dietitian or anything. This is just research I've done on my own, but I still wanted to share. And if you have any other things that helped you postpartum, if you have any snacks, any meals, recipe ideas, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to know them, and I'm sure that there are plenty of others who would like some ideas as well. So we're going to jump right in. Most days my goal is to have 3 even good meals. Some days that didn't happen, you'll see, and instead I had like a really big snack because either I wasn't super hungry, but I still wanted something so that I still had those nutrients. And then, some of the foods that I might eat on a different week, like my lactation cookies, I was out of this week. So I didn't have those, but those are normally something that I have as a staple for me, that I eat 1 or 2 a day. And then same with oatmeal. I usually have that more in the week, but this week I didn't. So I'm sharing little other breakfast ideas. And I think it's just important to know that, I feel like everybody talks about brewer's yeast and oatmeal being like 2 of the foods that help increase milk supply, and while they do, they're not the only ones. So that was something that really I learned as I dug into some postpartum nutrition, especially for breastfeeding moms. I'll try to leave a list of the foods that I found down in the comment box below, and then at the end of the video I'm going to talk about some of the nutrients that I'm trying to make sure that I incorporate and why they're important. So if you want to know that, stay tuned till the end of the video, but let's just go ahead and jump right into the first day. Good morning. We are starting the day with water and then coffee, of course. And for breakfast this morning, I'm having some of the on-the-go quick and easy oatmeal. Trying to have some of this at least once a week so that I can help boost my supply. I try to have it more than that, but this week it was only once a week. So, we're going with it. Having a newborn, we are trying to just get in as healthy and whole ingredients as we can, but sometimes it's nice to have these little on-the-go things, just like with this protein shake, so that I'm able to get in a good amount of protein each day. Snacking has been so helpful. Sometimes I don't want a full meal, so I make sure I have a well-rounded snack that still has healthy fats, protein, and type of fruit or vegetable if I can. Raymond cooked dinner this evening, and it was amazing. We had steak, asparagus, and this rice here from Thrive Market, and that's another example of just a quick and easy way to have a whole ingredient, but a little bit of help in pre-packaging it.
Presentation is everything. Last time
We're just watching this time.
Last time,
We also had a super easy dessert recipe, which was just Cool Whip and pudding mixed together to make this little chocolate mousse. I want to learn to make it with like heavy whipping cream and make it from scratch, so stay tuned for that recipe. And then, we're ending the night with feeding our little girl, and it's just the best. The next morning, I actually did the Stoke iced cold brew coffee. I like mixing it up, especially if Raymond's not going to be having coffee that morning. I'll do this so that I'm not making a whole pot just for me, and I absolutely love this flavor. It's one of my favorites. Apparently, there is a pumpkin one. I learned that the other day. My little sister loves that one, so check out that if that's something you're interested in. And then I'm actually making a bigger breakfast this morning. This was one of those times I was absolutely starving, so I'm making me like a little omelet quesadilla burrito. I don't even know what you would call it, but it was very, very delicious. Having those eggs, which I'm going to talk about in the video later. I've been trying to really incorporate eggs into my diet because they are so, so good for you with so many nutrients and ingredients that you need postpartum to help you and to help baby as well. So starting with just sauteing some spinach, then adding our egg mixture, added some bacon and some cheese, just a little bit of it. And then I have these corn tortillas that I'm trying to use up. I bought them for a recipe during my freezer meal prep, and I just need to use them up. So I'm trying to find any and all ways that I can. So if you have other ways that you like using corn tortillas, make sure you drop it down in the comments below. This turned out absolutely delicious. And this was my first snack. These crackers are from Aldi and they are so great. They have so many great gluten-free options. So having that along with a little bit of extra energy with that V8, and then again, one of those protein shakes, that was my lunch for the day as well. So another example of how sometimes I may not have a full cooked meal, but I can make my snacks well-rounded to have all that I need in a meal. And then of course tacos for the night. So we're using up some of that ground beef so that we're getting in all the good nutrients that I'll talk about at the end. And who doesn't love tacos? Plus it was Tuesday, so of course Taco Tuesday. I love these tortilla shells that have like the cheese on them. It makes me feel like I'm at Taco Bell getting the Doritos Locos taco. So definitely a favorite of mine. And we're just making it real simple. Sometimes I make fancy tacos, but more than likely this is the taco version we're gonna get, and it is my absolute favorite. So we had these, enjoyed all of these right here. And then I am making these cookies. I love baking, as you know, but sometimes it's nice to just have pre-made cookie dough that I can just pop in. And this Sweet Lawrence is some of my favorite cookie brand. It's also safe to eat raw, so go team for that. I've never actually had this flavor. It's so good. I'm definitely eating 2 of these. They're so good. So good. The cranberry oatmeal, those are also a favorite of mine. And the double chocolate chunk are good too. These are the only three flavors that I've tried, but these are really good for a quick, easy little dessert. Good morning, friends. I usually try to start with some type of food first thing in the morning before my coffee, but it didn't happen today. We're having coffee first today. I try to do food first just to know it's good for your hormones to be able to have that before you have that caffeine in there. But not today. Little one wanted to nurse first thing, so we're gonna have some breakfast after that. I think it's just gonna be easy today. I don't know. I got more sleep last night and I think I feel more out of it. I don't know if anybody else can relate to that, but we're just gonna do some frozen waffles and I don't know what else with it. I gotta pick some kind of protein to go with it. And I'm not really wanting eggs this morning. So we'll see what comes out. But yeah, good morning. Enjoy your coffee today. This adult Lunchable is always a win. Cucumbers instead of crackers, but still have all of the fun things. And then almonds for that healthy fat. I absolutely love this. And of course, another V8. I was also so excited to find gluten-free corn dogs for dinner. I have not had corn dogs in so long, so this was such a win. These are the best waffles, hands down. Like pre-made waffles, they're so good. Because they're crunchy, which I like. breakfast. Definitely has my pizza. I'm cheating for lunch today because I have a sleeping little baby. She did not have the best night last night, so we're kind of tired, and I'm giving myself a break. I've been doing really good about not ordering out and cooking almost every one of my meals. May not be homemade. I mean, I did have corn dogs last night, but at least cooking them at home. But today I decided to take a break, so I'm having some Japanese food, and the way I do it, I get a scoop of rice, and I have tons of chicken, zucchini, onions, just lots of vegetables. So I have that, and then I'm having me a Dr. Pepper Zero. That was my biggest pregnancy craving that went the entire pregnancy, and I'm trying to really wean myself off of them, but I do have one every now and then. So I'm having that with it today for a little extra caffeine. And we're gonna enjoy this. And she's just so beautiful. She's worth the sleepless nights. But, yeah. So I'm gonna enjoy my Japanese here and relax. I just got home from going to the store because I'm so excited for dinner tonight. It's another one of those that I'm not actually like cooking, but I'm not going out, so kind of cooking at home. Anyway, whatever. We'll talk about it. But anyway, lunch today was so delicious. I wish I had filmed the recipe. I didn't because I was like, this is kind of one of those that I'm just throwing stuff together. I don't know how it's gonna be, how it's gonna turn out, and so I didn't film it, but I wish I had. So what I did was I had a box of cheese bread mixture that you usually use to make little biscuits out of, kind of like if you're familiar with Red Lobster, kind of like that, but little drop biscuits. So I used that mix and actually made like a crust, like kind of like a flatbread. And we love pesto and chicken together, so I put a layer of pesto down as like the sauce for the flatbread. And then we had a rotisserie chicken that I was trying to use up because we're going out of town soon. So I wanted to try to use up everything so that we're not throwing anything out if we can help it. So I pulled that apart and put that on top, and then just a little bit of Parmesan cheese, not much because there's already so much cheese in the bread itself. It was delicious. But for dinner tonight, we wanted like Chinese food, but we didn't want to go to a Chinese restaurant or anything like that. But I was so happy to find this at the store. I found this one. It's a pad thai, and it's a rice noodle cart. It has rice noodles, sauce, vegetables, and toppings, and it is medium heat, and the ingredients are actually pretty good in here. Like, there really aren't a lot of fillers or anything like that. It's pretty clean ingredients for the most part. Sure, there's a few things that it's like modified cornstarch could be better, but for the most part I was really shocked with actually how good this is. And it's gluten-free. I found it at Ingles. I don't know if you have an Ingles grocery store near you. I actually have a surprisingly large amount of gluten-free food, which surprises me, but this is really good. And then I also grabbed, Raymond said that all he wanted was some egg rolls and rice for him, so I did grab a thing of gluten-free egg rolls, which I'll show you. He's not gluten-free, but instead of buying two things of two different egg rolls, we just share one. But I like dipping mine in duck sauce, and this one here, it also has very clean ingredients. It's just sugar, water, peach, mango, and pineapple juice, cornstarch, salt, vinegar. Paprika powder is actually what colors it, so not any kind of food coloring or anything, and then xanthan gum. So made me really happy that I found this. I really like that one. I've bought it before and it's really good. But these are the egg rolls that we got, these Feel Good Foods. They are very, very good. I've had those before, so they are delicious. So I'm gonna have one of those. But we also love these little pot stickers. I just got vegetable into those because I'm not really crazy about meat in these. I don't know, I just don't really like it. So we have that, and I'm gonna dip these in. I have some liquid aminos that I'll use instead of soy sauce. La Choy, if you do like soy sauce and you don't want liquid aminos, you want actual soy sauce, La Choy is a good brand that is gluten-free, and there may be others, but I know La Choy is a really big name one that's gluten-free. But I really prefer liquid aminos. It has less sodium. It just seems to be a little bit healthier than soy sauce itself, but it has pretty close to the same flavor. So I'm gonna dip mine in dip these in that. And yeah, so we're gonna have an at-home Chinese takeout night, which is gonna be super fun, and I'll show you. So choline is one that is super important for brain development for babies. So foods that are rich in that were eggs, poultry, meat, beef, and fish. So I've been trying to incorporate a good bit of eggs in our diet, which is very different for me because usually I don't like eggs at all, but it's actually been something I've been wanting. So awesome how God designed our bodies to crave what we need or what is best for us. So I've been eating a good bit of eggs. And then ground beef is one that I really am not the biggest fan of, especially during pregnancy. I could not even stand to look at it. So that was one that we're still trying to incorporate. And then you could see the other meals, the meats, I tried to have a good bit of chicken throughout the week as well. So choline is the first one that is super important. So calcium is one that, of course, is important for a baby, but it's also important for mom breastfeeding because it helps replenish bone mass during that. And foods that are really good in that are eggs, broccoli, and kale. So again, there were those eggs. I usually use a good bit of broccoli in recipes as well. It wasn't this week, just trying to rotate out things that we're eating and vegetables that we're eating as well. Along those same lines, so vitamin D is also super important for both mom and baby. So many important functions require vitamin D in our body. And the foods that are really great with that are eggs, salmon, and orange juice. So we usually always have orange juice on hand, and I might have a cup of that a couple of times a week. And again, with the eggs, you'll see those are so important for so many of these nutrients that we need. So if nothing else, at least try to have some eggs if you can. So protein is another one that is super important because it helps your body to heal. Just like with those who exercise, they want to make sure they have an adequate amount of protein that they're taking in to help restore from where they have just torn muscle while they're exercising. So same thing with giving birth. That's the biggest exercise you'll ever do in your life, I feel like. So we want to make sure we're replenishing and helping our body to heal. So of course, sources of protein, meat, eggs could be as well, our beans, nuts, seeds, things like that in there. So that's why you'll see me eating a good bit of peanut butter. I'll have my almonds. Of course, I have my meat, my protein shakes. I found that it was recommended to have an extra 15 to 20 grams of protein daily. So trying to take that in. My goal is to get up to around 120 grams daily. So we're working up to that and just trying to find ways to sneak protein in, either with those protein shakes that are pre-made or the protein shake that I made in the video. Those are super helpful in ways to make sure that we're getting in a good amount of protein. Iron is another one that's super important just to replenish from birth, where the loss of blood, you're losing a good bit of iron as well. So we want to replenish that. This also is super important for a baby's development and thyroid function. So things like red meat, beans, and green leafy vegetables are great to help replenish those. So again, eating that red meat with that beef like I did this week. And I have also been trying to incorporate spinach, so like in that breakfast that I made, but also trying to sneak it into protein shakes. If you're going to make that can be a 2-for-1 for you, having that protein and that iron be in there. So those are great ways to do that. So B12 was one that, of course, I knew it was important, but the more I looked into it, the more I found like just how important it was. Super important for red blood cell development, energy. It can be linked to babies being extra fussy if they're not getting enough of it, but also developmental delays and poor brain growth. So super, super important to make sure you're consuming things that have B12 in it. I know a lot of the prenatal vitamins that they want you to continue taking, especially if you're breastfeeding afterwards, they have that in it. But foods that could have it are tuna, beef, as well as salmon. So those are great ways to get it in through your diet as well. And of course, there are many others, but the last one that I found that I thought was super important and wanted to include were omega-3s. So these are super important for brain and vision development, enhancing your mental focus, and reducing inflammation, which I know for us being postpartum is super, super important. So of course, I usually think about fish, so salmon for one, but also eggs and dairy. So I am trying to still limit dairy a little bit because I know both my husband and I aren't typically able to consume a lot of dairy. That was one thing that I could while I was pregnant, which shocked me. But so I am still having it because I know how important it is, but I am trying to limit it a little bit just because I don't know if our little girl has problems with that. She seems to be doing perfectly well, and that's just with me including a little bit, but I know how important it is to get that in for many, many reasons. But another way of the omega-3s, so some prenatals have it in it, but if not, then you can always supplement with a fish oil supplement. That is something that I do. My supplement, or my prenatal supplement that I had changed to, it does not have omega-3s in it, so I just added in like that on myself. So that's the last one that I found that I wanted to include in this. Of course, there are, I'm sure, plenty more, and it's great just to have a well-rounded diet in general. So not just eating each of these things that I've talked about and what I have in my video. The goal will be definitely to move to a less processed, more whole food diet, and that is the path that we're on. But I just wanted to show it how it is right now to remind you to give yourself grace, that you're doing a great job, that being postpartum is a job in itself, I feel like. But yeah, I just wanted to provide a little bit of motivation for you and a little bit of ideas of kind of what it looks like for me. And I would love to hear your experience and how you handle postpartum, things that helped you, and everything like that. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. The next video I'm super excited for, it's going to be our fall decorate, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.